The night my parents cut me off over my sister's lie was the same morning they met the chief surgeon who could save her. The doctor lowered his mask and my father's face went from desperate to white, because it was me, Dr. Jordan Matthews, chief of pediatric cardiothoracic surgery at Boston Children's Hospital, their daughter, the one they disowned 8 months ago over a lie my sister told, standing in the consultation room, about to tell them whether their other daughter, the golden child, the favorite, the one who destroyed me, would live or die. Mr. and Mrs. Matthews, I said, keeping my voice clinical, professional. I'm Dr. Jordan Matthews. I'll be performing your daughter's surgery. My mother's coffee cup slipped from her hand, hit the floor, shattered, brown liquid spreading across white tile like blood. My father stood up, sat back down, stood again. Jordan, he whispered, that's Dr. Matthews to you. 8 months earlier, I'd been planning my parents' 40th anniversary party for 3 months when my sister's lie destroyed everything. Rachel was 26, 2 years younger than me. She'd always been the pretty one, the charming one, the one who could do no wrong. I was the responsible one, the one who went to medical school, the one who worked 80-hour weeks during residency, the one who never caused problems. We'd grown up in Wellesley, Massachusetts, upper middle class suburb, good schools. My father was a commercial real estate developer. My mother was a pediatric dentist who'd retired early to focus on the family, which really meant focus on Rachel. Rachel had been a competitive figure skater, national level. My parents spent $60,000 a year on coaches, costumes, travel, ice time. I spent high school studying in the stands at skating rinks, doing homework in hotel rooms during competitions. Your sister has a gift, my mother would say. She needs support. I got a full academic scholarship to Boston University. They came to my graduation dinner but left early for Rachel's competition in Lake Placid. I graduated summa cum laude from BU, top of my class at Harvard Medical School, pediatric surgery residency at Children's Hospital. They missed my medical school graduation because Rachel had made it to Junior Worlds. She came in 8th, quit skating 6 months later. By the time I was finishing my residency, Rachel was working part-time at a boutique in Newberry Street, living in a condo my parents bought her, dating a guy named Brad who worked in crypto. I was living in a studio apartment in Brighton, paying off $200,000 in student loans. When I made chief of pediatric cardiothoracic surgery at 28, the youngest in the hospital's history, my mother said, "That's wonderful, honey. Rachel just got promoted to assistant manager." I'd stopped expecting anything different, but I still loved them, still called every Sunday, still came to family dinners, still planned their anniversary party. The party was scheduled for a Saturday in March. 40 years of marriage. I'd booked a private room at Dante, their favorite Italian restaurant, invited 60 people, ordered a custom cake, arranged for a violinist, paid for it all myself, $8,000. Rachel was supposed to help. She was in charge of the photo slideshow. The morning of the party, she called me. "I can't come," she said. "What? Rachel, it's mom and dad's anniversary." "I know, but Brad and I got in a fight. I'm too upset." "Can't you just—" "I'm literally sobbing, Jordan. I can't show up like this." She hung up. I called my mother, explained that Rachel wouldn't be there. "What? Why not?" "She and Brad had a fight." Silence. "Then, you need to fix this." "Me? You're her sister. Go talk to her. Make her feel better. We need her there." "Mom, I have to get to the restaurant. The caterers—" "Jordan." Her voice was ice. "Your sister is in pain. Family comes first." I drove to Rachel's condo, let myself in with my spare key, found her on the couch, perfectly fine, watching Netflix, eating ice cream. "Rachel?" She looked up. "Oh, hey, you said you were crying." "I was, earlier. I'm fine now. Mom wants you at the party." "I don't feel like it." "You don't—" I took a breath. "You've known about this for 3 months. I spent $8,000. I need you there." "Why? So I can watch mom and dad celebrate their perfect marriage while my relationship falls apart?" "Your relationship with Brad falls apart every other week." "Wow, judgmental much?" "Rachel, please, just come. For them. You don't even have to stay long." She looked at me, really looked at me. "No," she said. "I'm not going." I left, got to the restaurant, set up everything, greeted guests. My parents arrived at 7 p.m. "Where's Rachel?" my mother asked immediately. "She's not coming." "What?" "She and Brad had a fight. She doesn't feel up to it." My mother's face went hard. "You were supposed to fix this." "I tried. She won't come." "You didn't try hard enough." My father put his hand on my mother's arm. "Let's not do this here." But my mother was on a roll. "This is Jordan's fault. She should have insisted. Should have brought Rachel herself." "I'm not Rachel's keeper," I said quietly. "You're her sister. This is what family does." The party happened. It was beautiful. People complimented the food, the ambiance, the cake. My parents barely spoke to me. At midnight, after everyone left, my mother pulled me aside. "Rachel called me during dinner," she said, crying. "She said you were cruel to her, that you told her she was a drama queen, that Brad was right to dump her." "I never said that." "She said you did." "Mom, I literally drove to her apartment to check on her. She was fine, watching TV." "Are you calling your sister a liar?" "I'm saying she misunderstood. You've always been jealous of her." The words hit like a slap. "What? Don't play innocent. You've been competitive with Rachel since you were kids. You couldn't stand that she was special, that she had talent." "I went to Harvard Medical School." "Because you're a grind. Rachel has natural gifts. You resent that." I couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. My father stood there, said nothing. "I think you should leave," my mother said. I left. The next morning, Rachel posted on Instagram a long caption about how her sister, unnamed but obvious, had verbally attacked her during a mental health crisis, how families should support each other, how she was learning to set boundaries with toxic people. 300 likes, dozens of comments. "I'm so sorry you're going through this. You deserve better. Family is supposed to lift you up." I called her. She didn't answer. I called my parents. "We saw the post," my mother said. "Rachel told us everything. What you said to her, how you blamed her for ruining the party. That's not what happened. She recorded the conversation, Jordan." My stomach dropped. "What?" "She has a recording. You screaming at her, calling her selfish, telling her she's the reason our family is broken." "I never said any of that. I never screamed. We don't want to hear it." Rachel is in therapy now, processing her trauma. Her therapist says she needs space from toxic family members. "Toxic? I'm her sister." "Were," my mother corrected. Past tense. "Don't contact us again. Don't contact Rachel. We're done." She hung up. I called back. They blocked me. I texted. Blocked. I drove to their house. They wouldn't answer the door. I hired a lawyer. Attorney Margaret Walsh, 54, family law specialist, 26 years at the bar. "Do you have evidence of what really happened?" she asked. "No. It's my word against hers." "And she has a recording?" "She says she does, but I never said those things." "Audio can be edited, manipulated, but without access to it, we can't prove that. So what do I do? Walk away. I'm sorry, but without evidence, without witnesses, this is a he said said she said, and your parents have chosen to believe her. I walked away. I threw myself into work. Pediatric cardiothoracic surgery, the most complex, high-stakes field in medicine. I was operating on babies with congenital heart defects, repairing tiny valves, reconstructing malformed chambers, lives in my hands every single day. I was good at it, really good. Dr. Patricia Keene, 59, chief of pediatric surgery, my mentor, pulled me aside after a particularly difficult operation. You did beautifully today, she said. Thank you. But you're working too much. 80, 90 hours a week. You need balance. I'm fine. Jordan, she looked at me with those sharp gray eyes. You're one of the most talented surgeons I've ever trained. Don't burn yourself out. I said I'm fine. I wasn't fine. I was numb, hollow, going through the motions, saving other people's children while my own parents had disowned me. 6 months after they cut me off, Rachel got engaged. I found out from Instagram, photo of her hand, diamond ring, caption, he said yes. Brad, the crypto guy, who dumped her at least 6 times in the 2 years they'd been together. I felt nothing. My phone rang an hour later. Unknown number. Dr. Matthews, this is Carol Davidson from the Boston Globe. I'm working on a profile about you. Youngest chief of pediatric cardiothoracic surgery in children's hospital history. Would you be available for an interview? I did the interview. It ran 2 weeks later. Full page in the Sunday edition. Photos of me in scrubs, in the OR, with patients. Quotes from Dr. Keene. Jordan Matthews is the future of pediatric cardiac surgery. Quotes from colleagues. She has hands of gold. My success story. Scholarship student, Harvard Medical, chief surgeon at 28. Nothing about my family. I declined to talk about them. The article went semi-viral. Got picked up by medical journals, hospital newsletters. My email inbox flooded with congratulations. Nothing from my parents. Nothing from Rachel. 8 months after the cutoff. It was a Tuesday morning, November. I was in my office reviewing surgical notes. My assistant, Kelly Brennan, 26, pre-med student working as an admin sharp as hell, knocked on my door. Dr. Matthews? Dr. Keene needs you in conference room B, emergency surgical consult. I grabbed my tablet, headed to the conference room. Dr. Keene was there. So was Dr. Michael Torres, 52, chief of pediatric cardiology, Harvard Medical, 30 years of experience. And 2 people I never thought I'd see again. My parents. They looked older. My father's hair had gone grayer. My mother had lines around her mouth I didn't remember. They looked up when I walked in. My mother's face went white. Jordan? She whispered. Mr. and Mrs. Matthews, I said professionally. I'm Dr. Matthews. Dr. Keene asked me to consult on a case. Dr. Keene looked confused. You know each other? We did, I said, once. I turned to Dr. Torres. What's the case? He pulled up a CT scan on the screen. 26-year-old female. Complex congenital heart defect. Bicuspid aortic valve with severe stenosis. Aortic aneurysm measuring 5.2 centimeters. Requires immediate surgical intervention. I studied the scan. It was bad. Really bad. Time frame? I asked. She's symptomatic. Chest pain. Shortness of breath. She could have an aortic dissection any day. We need to operate within the week. Who's the patient? Dr. Torres hesitated. Looked at my parents. Rachel Matthews, he said. Their daughter. The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the table. Your daughter has a serious heart condition, I said slowly. How long has she known? My father spoke for the first time. She was diagnosed at birth. Bicuspid aortic valve. We were told it might need surgery someday. She's been monitored her whole life, and now it needs surgery. Yes. I looked at Dr. Keene. Why am I here? Because you're the best, she said simply. This is a complex repair. Valve replacement plus ascending aortic graft. High-risk patient. I want you to lead. My parents were staring at me. You're a surgeon? My mother said. Voice small. Chief of pediatric cardiothoracic surgery, I corrected. I specialize in exactly this type of repair. But you work with children? I work with patients up to age 26. Rachel qualifies. Silence. Where is she? I asked. Admitted last night, Dr. Torres said. Room 4127. Stable for now. I stood up. I'll review her full chart and imaging. We'll schedule surgery for Friday. That gives us 3 days to prep. Jordan, my father started. Dr. Matthews, I corrected. And don't worry, I'm a professional. I'll treat your daughter with the same level of care I give all my patients. I walked out. I reviewed Rachel's entire medical history. She'd been born with a bicuspid aortic valve. Instead of 3 leaflets, she had 2. Common congenital defect. Usually manageable with monitoring, but hers had progressed. The valve was stenotic, narrowed, restricting blood flow, and an aneurysm had formed in her ascending aorta. If it ruptured, she'd die within minutes. The surgery was complicated. I'd need to replace the valve with a mechanical prosthesis, then repair the aorta with a Dacron graft. High risk, but doable. I'd done 73 similar operations, lost 2 patients. Both had other complicating factors. Rachel was young, otherwise healthy. Her odds were good, if I operated. Kelly found me in my office at 9 p.m. Dr. Matthews, you've been here since 6 this morning. I know. The Matthews case? Yeah. She sat down across from me. Can I ask you something? Sure. Are they really your parents? I looked at her. You heard that? The nurses are talking. Apparently your mom was crying in the hallway. Great. Dr. Matthews, Jordan, you don't have to do this surgery. You can hand it off. No one would judge you. I would, but they cut me off. I know. They believed my sister's lies. They called me toxic. They blocked me. I rubbed my eyes. But she's still my sister, and I'm still a surgeon. I don't get to pick and choose who deserves to be saved. Kelly was quiet for a moment. You're a better person than I'd be, she said finally. I'm not a better person. I'm just a person who knows what the oath means. I visited Rachel the next morning. She was in her hospital bed, pale, monitors beeping, IV in her arm. She looked up when I walked in. Her eyes widened. Jordan? Hi, Rachel. What are you? She looked at my white coat, the badge, the stethoscope. You're my surgeon? Chief of pediatric cardiothoracic surgery, I said. I'll be performing your operation Friday morning. She started crying. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I pulled up a chair. Tell me about your symptoms. When did the chest pain start? Jordan, please. I need to tell you, after we discuss your medical condition. When did the symptoms start? She wiped her eyes. 3 months ago. Just little things. Getting winded going upstairs. Feeling tired. And the chest pain? 2 weeks ago. Really bad. Like something was squeezing my heart. I examined her. Listened to her heart. Checked her vitals. The murmur was obvious. Loud. Harsh. The sound of blood struggling through a narrowed valve. Your aorta is dilated, I explained. An aneurysm. If it ruptures, you'll die before we can get you to an OR. We need to repair it before that happens. Am I going to die? Not if I can help it. Jordan, I need to ask you something. I interrupted. That recording, the one you told mom and dad about, where I supposedly screamed at you, called you selfish. She looked away. There was no recording. I know. I made it up. I was just so, I don't know, jealous. You have this amazing life, this career. You're important. And I'm nothing. So you lied. I'm sorry. You destroyed my relationship with our parents. I know. They disowned me, Rachel. Blocked my number. Wouldn't let me in the house. I tried to tell them. After a month, I tried to say I'd exaggerated. Mom wouldn't listen. She said I was protecting you. That family loyalty was making me second guess myself. I laughed. Bitter. That's ironic. I'm sorry, she said again. I'm so sorry. I stood up. I'm going to save your life, but after that, we're done. You got what you wanted. You got all of mom and dad's attention, their love, their support, and you took mine. So after Friday, after I repair your heart, you can live with what you did. I walked out. My parents were waiting in the hallway. Jordan, my father said, can we talk? I have rounds. Please, 5 minutes. I checked my watch. 3 minutes. We went to a small consultation room. My mother spoke first. We saw the article, the Boston Globe, about your career. Okay. We didn't know we thought you were still a resident or a fellow. I finished my fellowship 2 years ago. I made chief last year. Why didn't you tell us? I tried. You blocked me. Silence. Rachel told us, my father said quietly, about the recording, that there wasn't one. When? This morning. She said she made it all up, that she was jealous, that she's sorry. Great. I'm glad we cleared that up. Jordan, you didn't even question it, I said. My voice was rising. I couldn't stop it. Your daughter, your other daughter, told you I verbally abused Rachel, screamed at her, called her toxic, and you believed her. No proof, no recording, no witnesses, just her word. And that was enough. She's your sister, and I'm your daughter, but you chose her, just like you've always chosen her. Her skating, her feelings, her drama. Everything has always been about Rachel. My mother was crying. That's not true. I graduated summa cum laude from BU. You missed my graduation for Rachel's competition. I got into Harvard Medical. You took Rachel to Disneyland to celebrate her finishing rehab after she quit skating. I made chief surgeon at 28. You blocked my number. My father's voice broke. We made a mistake. Yeah, you did. Can you forgive us? I looked at them, at their desperate faces, their regret. I can save Rachel's life, I said. That's what I can do. The rest? I don't know. I walked out. Friday morning, surgery day. I was in the pre-op area at 6 a.m., reviewing Rachel's scans one more time. Dr. Keene found me. Ready? As I'll ever be. This is going to be hard, not just technically, emotionally. I know. If you need me to take over at any point, I won't. She squeezed my shoulder. You're one of the strongest people I know. The surgery took 6 hours. I opened Rachel's chest, saw her heart, the defective valve, the bulging aorta. It was worse in person than on the scans. Ascending aorta is 5.4 centimeters, I said for the surgical record. Significant dilation, preparing for valve replacement and aortic graft. My hands were steady. I removed the diseased valve, implanted a mechanical prosthesis, St. Jude Medical, size 21 millimeters. Then I cut into the aorta, removed the aneurysmal section, sewed in a Dacron graft, tiny stitches, precise, perfect. My surgical team, Dr. James Park, cardiac anesthesiologist, 38, Korean American, Yale Medical, nurse Sandra Lopez, surgical nurse, 42, 20 years in the OR, Dr. Eric Kim, surgical resident, 29, Stanford graduate, watched me work. Flawless, Dr. Park murmured. Absolutely flawless. I closed the aorta, checked for leaks, none. Restarted the heart, it beat. Strong, steady, beautiful. Surgery complete, I said. Time of completion, 1:47 p.m. I found my parents in the surgical waiting room. They stood up when they saw me. She's alive, I said. The surgery went perfectly. She'll be in the ICU for 24 hours, then a regular room. Full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. My mother collapsed into my father's arms, sobbing. Thank you, my father said. Thank you, Jordan. Dr. Matthews, I corrected. And I didn't do it for you. I did it because I'm a surgeon. It's what I do. Can we see her? In an hour. She needs to stabilize first. I turned to leave. Jordan, my mother called. Please, can we talk? Really talk? I stopped. About what? About how we failed you. About how sorry we are. Will it change anything? We want to try. Please. I looked at them. At the parents who'd raised me, who'd loved Rachel more, who'd chosen her lies over my truth, who'd lost 8 months of my life. I need time, I said, to think, to process. This isn't something I can just forgive because you're sorry now. We understand, my father said. We'll wait, as long as it takes. I walked away. 3 months later, Rachel recovered beautifully. New mechanical valve working perfectly. Aorta repaired. Back to normal life. She called me once, left a voicemail. Jordan, it's Rachel. I just wanted to thank you for saving my life and to say I'm sorry. Again, I know it doesn't fix anything, but I'm in therapy. Real therapy. Working on myself, on why I do these things. Anyway, thank you for being the person I could never be. I didn't call back. My parents reached out every week. Emails, letters, texts, not pushy, just there. We're here when you're ready. We love you. We're sorry. I didn't respond. I focused on work, on my patients, on the lives I could save. One Thursday morning, I got a call from Dr. Keene. Jordan, can you come to my office? I went. She had a letter in her hand. This came for you. I thought you should see it. It was from the American College of Surgeons. Notification that I'd been awarded the Young Surgeon of the Year Award, national recognition, $25,000 grant for research, invitation to speak at their annual conference. Congratulations, Dr. Keene said. You earned this. The ceremony was in Chicago. Black tie, fancy hotel. Kelly helped me pick out a dress. Navy blue, professional, but elegant. I flew to Chicago alone, walked into the ballroom alone, sat at a table with strangers, other surgeons, medical professionals. When they called my name, I walked to the stage, accepted the award, gave a speech about pediatric cardiac surgery, about saving children's lives, about the future of the field. The audience stood, applauded. I looked out at the crowd and saw them, my parents, in the back, standing, clapping. They'd come. After the ceremony, they were waiting in the lobby. We're so proud of you, my mother said. She was crying. We're so proud. How did you know I'd be here? We've been following your career, reading everything, watching from afar. When we saw you won this award, we had to come. I stood there, in my Navy dress, with my award, looking at the parents who'd failed me, who'd shown up anyway. I'm not ready to forgive you, I said. Not yet. We know, my father said. We just wanted you to know we see you now. Really see you. What you've accomplished. Who you are. It took almost losing Rachel for you to notice me? Yes, my mother said simply. And that's on us. We failed you, Jordan. We put Rachel first for your entire life. We didn't see what we were doing until it was too late, until we'd lost you. You didn't just lose me, you threw threw me away. I know. Over a lie. Without even asking for my side. I know. I took a breath. I need more time. We'll give you all the time you need, my father said. But we're not giving up. We're not walking away again. I nodded. Okay. Can we take you to dinner? To celebrate? I thought about it. Really thought. Okay, I said. Dinner. But that's it. We went to dinner. Italian restaurant, small talk, careful conversation. My mother asked about my patients, my research, my life. My father told me they'd kept every article written about me, every mention, had a folder in their house with my accomplishments. We wanted to be part of it, he said. But we didn't feel like we deserved to be. You didn't. I agreed. No, my mother said. We didn't. At the end of dinner, as we stood on the sidewalk in Chicago, my mother hugged me. I let her, didn't hug back, but I didn't pull away either. Thank you for saving Rachel, she whispered. And thank you for this, for giving us this chance. 1 year later, I still hadn't fully forgiven them, but we were rebuilding, slowly. Sunday dinners once a month, phone calls every few weeks, careful, tentative. Rachel and I weren't speaking. She'd gone to therapy, made progress, but I wasn't ready. Maybe I never would be, but I'd saved her life, and that had to count for something. One Saturday morning, I was in my office when Kelly knocked. Dr. Matthews, you have a visitor? Who? He says he's a reporter. Boston Globe. Wants to do a follow-up on your profile. I sighed. Fine, send him in. The reporter walked in. Young guy, maybe 30, notebook in hand. Dr. Matthews, thank you for seeing me. I'm Ryan Chen, Boston Globe. I'm working on a follow-up piece about you, the Young Surgeon Award, your continued success. I heard an interesting story about a surgery you performed last year. Saved your sister's life after your family had disowned you? My stomach dropped. Who told you that? Multiple sources at the hospital. It's a compelling human interest angle. Family estrangement, redemption, forgiveness. That's not a story I want told, but it's newsworthy. The youngest chief surgeon in the hospital's history, saving the life of the sister who'd lied about her. That's powerful. It's private. Dr. Matthews, with all due respect, you're a public figure in the medical community. This story could inspire people, show that healing is possible. I looked at him, at his eager face, his notebook. You want to know what the story is? I said. The story is that I'm a surgeon. I took an oath. First, do no harm. And that includes not letting my personal feelings interfere with my professional responsibility. So it's not about forgiveness, it's about being a doctor. That's the story, not some feel-good redemption arc. I did my job. That's it. He wrote that down. Can I quote you? You can write whatever you want, but if you sensationalize my family's dysfunction for clicks, I'll make sure every medical publication knows you exploited a patient privacy issue for a story. He closed his notebook. Understood. Thank you for your time. He left. The article ran 2 weeks later. Professional, respectful, focused on my career achievements. Mentioned the surgery only in passing as an example of my dedication to my patients. My parents sent me a copy with a note. You handled that with grace. We're proud of the woman you've become. Despite us, not because of us. Love, Mom and Dad. I put it in a drawer, not ready to frame it, but not ready to throw it away either.